Peoples, now we do some problems in magnetizing current of designing of induction machine. So just make this remembrance. Here you need to know about formulas of finding MMF values for the different location. Majorly this air gap MMF equation is being repeatedly used. That is nothing but 80 and 8 lakhs of BG60 and kg into LG. For the BG60, it is defined as the assumptions of 1.36 of BAV. You know about the BAV formula. Then the next one is nothing but MMF of stator teeth. In the problem, if they given the data is related to the teeth parameter is given, means you have to follow this equation. Okay. At the same time, for the rotor teeth also, if the problem has some related information related to the teeth on the stator and the rotor, means you're going to use this. Then the core information. So this is also a same pattern. A correlated data are mentioned, means you have to use this formula to finding that thing. So let's go for the problem. Yeah, see here it is in the book. While solving, don't refer the book. Solve individually, then check your mistakes, then go for the content. The problem, we have a data of a 15 kilowatt. A power has been given there. Then a 400 voltage is there, then a 3-phase, then 50 hertz, then 6 poles. So we have a 6 data are there. Write the given data of this content. Then it is an induction motor. Then they also given about the diameter of 0.3 mm and the length of the core of 0.12 meter. So 0.3 meter also in the diameter. So we have a D and a L value. Then after that, a number of stator slots is given, which is nothing but SS. It is nothing but 72 with 20 conductor per slot. It is nothing but a Z value, ZSS. It is nothing but 20. Then it is in a stator is in a delta connection. Delta means we have to know about this thing. The voltage are same here. You need to calculate the current by line and phases. So then you need a calculations value of magnetizing current per phase. Then if the length of the air gap is 0.55 mm, which means of a condition is there, the air gap length is on 0.55. With that you can calculating the magnetizing current value. So that 0.55 mm is nothing but length of the air gap. It is LG, so that is also there. Then the gap contraction factor, which is nothing but kg. It is nothing but 1.2 value. Then assume the MMF required for the iron path. This is the condition, important conditions here. The iron path value is on the assumption of the value of air gap MMF, 35% of air gap MMF. So that is the statement. See the last line. The MMF in the iron path is nothing but 35% of air gap MMF. That is declared by the equation. ATI is nothing but the product of 0.35. That is nothing but the percentage with the value of air gap MMF, ATG. So we have to use this condition to determine the value of iron path MMF. Then the last data is their coil span. So coil span is nothing but 11. Generally this coil span is going to use it to find the value of alpha. So that is the thing. Then go with the solving of content. See the content. We have a P, VL, M, F, then P, D, L and SS slots value, then conductor value, then air gap value, then contraction factors value, gap contraction factors, then coil span. With this content, let's go and solve the value, which is nothing but a magnetizing current per phase. Go one by one. The first one is nothing but the major formula, magnetizing current. So this is the formula. IM value is nothing but 0.427 P AT60 divided by KWS into TS. I think so. By considering the given data, we have only one data, which is nothing but a poles. All others you need to calculate here. So just solve one by one. Then first one is nothing but AT60. Is nothing but ampere turns of total content. The total content is nothing but the addition of 5 in the derivative we seen. Air gap, stator core, rotor core, stator teeth and rotor teeth. Here we does not have any separate information related to core and teeth. But we have one information, which is nothing but a iron path. So MMF of iron is nothing but core, na? So MMF of total core is given by a condition, 35% of air gap. So you need to calculate only two things here, which is nothing but mmf in ion path plus mmf in air gap. By this addition of these two things, you can declare the total value 8060 value. So here also that mmf in ion path is in a condition, it is also given in the data. ATI is related with 0.35 into 80 G, which means of you need to find the air gap mmf. In that air gap mmf, the 35 percentage is on the ion mmf. So the first thing is you need to calculate the ion, first you need to calculate about the air gap. After calculating the air gap mmf, multiply by 0.35, you got the mmf in ion path. So that's all for the content. To find the total 8060 value, let's do one by one. So first one, mmf in the air gap. So to declare this thing, a basic equation, it is in the derivative in the first session. ATG is equal to 8 lakhs of BG60 kg LG. I think so here only one data is missing. LG and kg is in the given data. We need BG60. For this BG60, it is derived by the BH curve content with that constant, which is nothing but BG60 is declared by at the flux density of 60 degree. The BG60 is equal to 1.36 of BAV. So that's all for the content. BAV is a generalized formula. You know about this thing. BAV is defined by poles flux divided by pi into dl. Here we have a pole in the given data. Then we also have a d and l, but we does not have a phi value. So we're going to find the phi here. So to determine this phi using the EMF equation of this content, so phi is equal to ES divided by 4.44 F T phase and KWS. For this calculation, KWS is not there. So you need to calculate the KWS. After this only you can calculate all the domain. So keep pending about this thing. Then after calculating the KWS only you can find the phi. Then after that only you can find the BAV, then BG60, then ATG, then after that 80 the overall value. So go with the content to find the TS value, which means of stator turns. So it is calculated by using a conductors, because in the given data we have a Z value. So for that using Z and slots divided by 60. I think so all the data are there. We can directly predict the value of TS. Then we got T phase. So from the phi value we got the T phase value. So one is okay. Then one more data, KWS you need to find. So next we go for KWS. For the KWS, what is the KWS? Windows space factor, which is sorry, it is a winding space factor. So we know this thing now. Winding space factor is nothing but a product of pitch factor and distribution factor, KP and KD. Let's calculate one by one. KP is nothing but cos alpha by 2. You know this thing. We already solved this content in previous subjects. So to determine the alpha, here just refer the content, refer the book. That alpha value is in a degree. You have to substitute here in a degree, but the data in the given is given as a call span of 11. So with this content, you have some data here. Slot per pole value, which have to multiply by 180 degree. Then you can find the value of alpha is nothing but 15 degree. Just check the book. Then after that find the KP. Then next one, KD value. It is nothing but sine m beta by 2 divided by m sine beta by 2. Here it is mentioned as Q. M is mentioned as Q with the slot. So for that it is data. So QS. To calculate this thing, a formula is there. QS is nothing but slot divided by pole into pitch. So we have all the data. By calculating this thing we can find the QS. Then beta, to calculate this thing, beta is equal to 180 divided by slot per pole. Slots is also there in the given and poles is also there in the given. So by dividing this thing with the 180 degree you can find the beta. So that's all peoples. Now you can gather all the information. The first step is nothing but you have to find the beta. Then second step you have to find the QS. Then third step you can find the KD. Then fourth step you can find the alpha. Then fifth step you're going to find the KP. Then sixth step you have to multiply this thing and find the KWS value. Then seventh step you have to find the TS value. It's already there. All the data are there. So TS. Then after finding this thing, come to calculating the 80/60. Here you need to calculate about the air gap value. So all the data are there. Come to flux equation. Here the T phase is already calculated by TS. Then KWS is already calculated in the left side. So substitute all this thing. Then ES is also there in the data. It's nothing but the voltage. It is in the delta. Keep in mind. So find the phi value. Then substitute in the above equation. Find the BAV. Then substitute in the above equation. Find the BG60. Then substitute in the above equation and find the 80G value. Now you got 80G. Then you're going to determine the next one, which is nothing but MMF in ion path. After calculating AG60, you have to multiply by a percentage which is given in the data, 35%. So 80I is equal to 0.35 into 80G. The 80G is already calculated here. So with this content, you can find the 80I value. Now you got all the thing, 80I and 80G, multiply this thing and can you find 80/60 value. That's all for the content. You got all the information. Substitute into magnetizing current per phase equation and find the IM value. That value is nothing but IM is equal to 4.55 amps. Just solve it and proceed and check the process. Then go with the next problem. A second problem, it is also in the book. Just consider one by one. The first data is nothing but a power value 20 HP is there. Then second one, we got a 3-phase. Then next one, a 400 volt. Then 50 hertz. Then 4 pole. So write all this thing. It is nothing but a star connection. So you have to concentrate on voltage. A current should be same here. Then and next one, the flux per pole value is a 3 slot per pole data is there. It is nothing but M value, not M, Q value. Then with the slot pitch coil of 160 degree of span. This is all the data is need to find about the alpha value. So we will deal with this on the proceeding. Then flux per pole data is there, which is nothing but 0.009 Weber. Then gap area 180 degree centimeter square. The gap area is nothing but AG mentioned in the given data. Then effective gap length, which is nothing but here the effective gap length is defined by the constant of LG and KG value. KG is constant with multiply of LG. Here the effective gap length is mentioned on this term. So KG into LG, that value is nothing but 0.55 mm. So convert this thing into meter. So that is in the given data. Then estimate the component of magnetizing current for the air gap. So peoples, we have some less data in the given. So just check the data. We have a power, we have a phase, we have a voltage, and it is in a star connection. Then frequency we have, then poles, then slot per pole per phase, it is M. Here it is mentioned as QS. Then if flux value is there, then gap area is there, then effective gap length is there, kg into lg. With this content, we're going to find the magnetizing current. At the same time, here in the given data, we does not have any kind of teeth information or core information or ion information. They just only given about the air gap data. So a condition has been applied here. The first thing, to determine a magnetizing current per phase, IM equation is equal to the same 0.427 P 80/60 divided by kWs into TS. Now you're going to determine this thing. So kWs is nothing but winding factor, it's general. TS is nothing but the turns, nothing here. Poles is already given in the question. So 80/60 you need to calculate. So 80/60 is nothing but MMF of total mission. Here, as per the derivation, we have 5 opinions: air gap, stator tooth, rotor tooth, stator core, rotor core. But here, from the given data, we does not have any kind of data for the tooth and the core and iron also. Only we have a gap, air gap data. So consider this thing. While consider only a air gap, the MMF per pole is given by directly 8060 is equal to 80G. So this is the equation. No need to no need to add any other thing. You have only one procedure. You need to find the 80G and declare it as a 8060. So just go and solve the content. 80G. What is the formula for 80G? As per this constant, it is in the derivative 8060 is equal to 8 lakhs of BG60 kg and LG. Here kg and LG is in the given data. It is nothing but effective gap length. It is mentioned as effective gap length. Then you need to calculate about BG60. It is nothing but the constant. Get it by basic curve with this content. BG60 is equal to 1.36 BAV. So BAV is not there. You need to find the BAV. So for this, the formula flux per, pole into flux divided by pi into dl. Here we have a pole, we have a flux, the pi is normal, but we does not have a main dimensions. D and L is not there, so you need to find the D and L. So for D and L determination, separate data is there by the way of gap area per pole. This is the equation which is from the derivation from the gap area per pole is calculated by, this is the AG equation. AG is equal to pi into DL divided by P. In this equation we has a DL value. We also have a gap area data in the given. So for that only we use this formula. AG is there in the given, poles is also there in the given, then pi is a numerical. By rearrange this equation we can find the DL value. So that's all guys. By using this last condition we can find the DL value. By substituting in the above BAV equation we can find the BAV, then we can find the BG60, then we can find the B80G, then 80G is equivalent to 8060. That's all for that content. Then you need to calculate about the denominator values, that KWS and as well as TS. Just solve the TS value. It is nothing but EMF equation content. Why? Because of here we does not have any conductor equations, conductor datas. So for that we can go with this term by using this EMF equation, ES divided by 4.44 F5 KWS. So ES, here it is a star, so the voltage is not the same. You need to find ES by this content. You know about this thing. Then after that flux is there, frequency is there, then KWS. It is also used, the KW is also used in IM equation, magnetizing current equation. So find the KWS value. KWS is calculated by product of pitch factor and distribution factor. So KP, to determine KP is nothing but cos alpha by 2. For alpha, a data is there now in the given data, which means of Q value is there, slot per pole per phase, then a short pitch coil of 160 degree span. Here by using that alpha is calculated by subtracting of 180 degree minus coil span. So coil span is in the data, so 180 degree minus 160 degree. With this content you got one value, so substitute that to calculate the KP. Then to KD is nothing but same thing, sin m beta by 2 divided by m sin beta by 2. Here it is a Q, sin Q beta by 2 divided by Q sin beta by 2. So Q is already there in the given data. You need to calculate the beta value. So for the beta, the same formula, 180 degree divided by slot per pole. You need to calculate about the slot per pole by using that m value. So that's all for the content. By substitute all the thing, you can easily predict the value. It is nothing but IM of 4.4432A. Solve this, then send to me.